some of the processes. So the number one most important part of having a successful e-commerce business, no matter where you sell, is sourcing products. The biggest challenge I had early on in my career was finding continuous, reliable sources of products. You know, in the very beginning, in the late '90s, when I started on eBay, um, basically I was in IT, right? So I'm an IT guy, and a lot of Y2K stuff was happening. And what I was doing was buying PCs and servers and switches and equipment from enterprise companies that were upgrading all their stuff. And I would just refurbish it, clean it up, and then I'd sell it on eBay. Well, that wasn't a continuous, reliable source of products. That was a pallet here, a pallet there. So then I started looking around trying to find other reliable sources, and I got into liquidation. And I started working with liquidating companies and buying products from liquidators, and that's a dangerous business because most of the time, if somebody's liquidating something, it's junk unless you go straight to the source. And I learned that early on and ended up doing that, and ended up with a contract with a major retail store and got semi trucks every single week of retail goods. But the problem with those goods was it was shelf pulls, returns, displays, open box. Most of it needed to be, every single item had to be touched. Every single item had to be inspected, tested, photographed. It was a major nightmare and took a lot of work. The only reason we were able to do good at it and make money was because we had processes. But that's a very tiring industry. '08, '09, that changed. The economy changed, and it killed my retail store, and subsequently put us in a position where I decided to go 100% online. And so we did. That's what we did. We went online. Oh, something. Gochu's trying to tell me something here. So by going online, what we did was we started taking the same ideas for process and scalability and doing that. But we still had challenges finding reliable sources of products. Well, instead of all the pain of trying to do online private labeling, which I did, and we were very successful and built a $5 million a year business doing that, what I found was the people who were really successful in this, the ones whose lives were majorly changed, didn't source by going to Alibaba and finding the products and checking Amazon. They went directly to China and they purchased products from manufacturers. And they got better pricing, so they could beat me on price. They bought more products. They understood how to launch better. They built huge businesses. So I decided that that was what we needed to do, and I had a good friend of mine who had a $1 million a year business last December when he was coaching our mastermind on what he did, and showed him his Amazon account. $1 million a month, $12 million a year business. So he's double what I'm doing in December last year. He is currently substantially higher than that now. And I asked him what he was doing, and the difference between what he did and what I did was he was sourcing direct. So I actually asked him to teach me. And he did, taught me exactly how he did it. And so I've been using that process, but the benefit that I have that he doesn't have is I have a freight company, I have a FBA prep facility, and I have all those processes that he doesn't have. So it gives us a little bit of an advantage in many ways. So continuous reliable products allow you to continually supply demand for your products on Amazon. If you don't have a continuous reliable source, you're constantly having to list up something different, you're running out of stock, and you're probably piggybacking other listings, you're buying wholesale, or you're getting liquidated goods, or you're doing something like retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, or general arbitrage. It does make money, I won't knock it at all, but it isn't the kind of money that the effort that you put there to sell somebody else's product for a little bit of cash didn't appeal to me. It wasn't building a business. It was just flipping stuff for money. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. Side hustle's good. Flipping for money's good. If that's what you're looking for, that is a great thing. But if you're looking to build a scalable business, one that has the potential to be generational money, one that can pay for the kids' college and make sure that you don't have any debt, one that can change your life, one that can buy you $250,000 airplane, one that can do things for you that you never thought possible, that's probably not a great way to do it. So, you know, but again, that's personal opinion and what your needs are, what you want to try to do. For me, it wasn't working. So I looked for reliable sources, and I found going direct to China and sourcing products there was the best way to develop relationships with manufacturers and suppliers, to get continuous supply, and to be able to feed the demand that would happen when I sold products on Amazon. One of the things I look for when I do that, and hopefully I went over that a lot, guys, because that's number one most important thing. If you can't do that, then this gets harder. If you can do that, then this actually becomes very simple, easy, and repeatable. The second thing, we want to find products that have an established demand. A lot of people want to build online businesses with this great new idea for the latest, greatest something new that they have, and it's great to have ideas. I've had patents, I've had stuff patented, I'm in IT. My expertise is voice and video over IP, so if this is messing up, we're going to blame GoToWebinar. Uh, but the reality is it's very hard and very expensive to build a business that doesn't sell products that people already understand and want to buy. It's a lot simpler to build a very large business very quickly if you sell people something they already want. For example, the hoverboards. Nobody knew what they were. There was no demand for the hoverboards until Farrell and the Bieber kid posted their Twitter feed or Instagram or wherever they posted it, them riding them around, doing that deal on the stage and everything. And then, after they did that, the demand came. And only then did I buy some of those products and sell them. And we'll talk about fad products later on. That's a different subject. But only then did I buy it because the demand was already there. So it's very easy to supply the demand and make things happen. The other things we need to do when we source our products are find products that have gaps in the market that we can exploit. In other words, you know, something like silicone barbecue mitts may not be the best product in the world to source because there are literally 400 pages of ASMers who are selling that exact same product. And if you look at the numbers, the demand isn't there, and there are no really good gaps in the market. Selling things like specific supplements that are really popular and really have a very aggressive and large market. That's a difficult one as well because the market is saturated, and it costs a lot of money to play in the supplement market, a lot of money. So you know, you're looking for gaps that you can afford. You're looking for products that fit your budget so that you can get in and start making some money. We do research. I use Jungle Scout. I use several different keywords tools. I do like Jungle Scout a lot. If you know, one of these days we may ask Greg to come on and talk to people, but he's got some great information on it. Jungle Scout can help us to get that information. It's not the only tool we use, but it is a good one to start with. And then there's so many different types of keyword tools that are beneficial. But when I started, it was Google, the Google keyword tool. That was it. And it worked very well because Google's the largest shopping in the world. I mean, most of what we look at and look for is on Google, and so including Amazon. So we can see kind of and get an idea of what the global market is, and even break it down into countries and segments using the Google tool. There are other keyword tools we can use for other things too, but that's kind of what we want to do. So we're going to find our suppliers. We're going to look for products that have an established demand. We're going to look for gaps in the market to exploit products that have those available. We're going to use Jungle Scout and keyword tools to do our product research. Then we're going to place orders of our products based upon that research that we did. Not based upon I want to do 50 to test out the market. That's just not a very good way to really grow fast. If you're going to launch products, gain BSR rank, and be able to own that segment and stay and keep your BSR and your page position well, that doesn't work as well as it could. Again, not going to say that it doesn't work and it's not something that people have used in the past and potentially grown a business, but I just find that it takes a lot longer. And today the market moves a lot faster. There's a lot more competition nipping at your heels. So if you aren't there first, you will get squeezed out real quick. The other thing that I do when I source my products is I ship by ocean, almost 100% of the time. Now, that's not saying I don't do some air freight. I do, but I will ship my products by ocean over and over again. And it's not hard if you put the processes in place to do that and be effective. And the reason I do this whole process here, which is just one process out of the 5 we're going to talk about, the reason I do my sourcing in this manner, the reason I ship by ocean, the reason I do research and figure out what I need to do, the reason I want products that have established demand, and the reason I look for reliable sources is because a long time ago somebody taught me that you win in sales on the buy, not on the sell. Go to a car dealership and trade in your car. They will never offer you book, or they will offer you their book, not the book that you get to research. And it's generally substantially less than what your book says your car is worth. And the reason is because they're trying to win on the buy. They know if they offer you less, they can sell that car and make money on it, even if they sell it at auction. And generally what they're looking at is, if I can't sell it in my lot in a 2 weeks, a month, or 2 months, we can throw it in the auction and we'll get all our money back and make a little bit there. And they don't lose. So they're winning on the buy when they do that. The same thing goes when we source our products. If you buy your products, and let's just use some examples here. I did this yesterday and it worked out well. Hold on one second, because I'm going to make sure this thing isn't trying to tell me that this isn't working. Whoa. Oh. Well, it is trying to tell me something, isn't it? Hey, Jeff, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you
Okay, I'm
just
just double
fine. And
checking.
like nobody's usually when all of a sudden when stuff goes out, like I haven't gotten a text from Mitch, and nobody's like typing in, "Hey, we can't hear you. Hey, we can't hear you." So I think you're totally think
Well,
you're
I'm
fine.
getting see the little bouncer? I don't know if you
Yeah, is
can
that
see it.
because I actually did a chat message out to everyone because I forgot to tell them how to ask a question, so that meant you too. So I don't know if it's
That's
just
probably it.
so
I
sorry
just wanted
about
to make
that.
sure it was working. Everything was so quiet. I'm
Yeah,
like, oh no, I hope I haven't dropped. I'm on
no, you're
Wi-Fi at my house.
no, you're
So
you're good, brother. We are just all listening intently, man.
yeah, sweet. So we were talking about winning on the buy, right? So
Yep.
winning on the buy, guys. The key to doing this is to win that way. So I'm going to use an example to help you guys understand that it's really simple, right? If you buy a product in China on Alibaba and it costs you $1.25, $1.25 US, and you ship it via DHL, and it costs you another $1.25 to ship it DHL, you get it in your hands for $2.50. And then, of course, you're going to have duty, and you're going to have to do your prep work and put stickers on it and labels and all that. And you can be outsourcing that today or not. You still have a cost involved in that. But let's just use the $2.50. Now, you send it to Amazon, and if you're a smart business person, you'll use something called keystone pricing. Keystone pricing is this: whatever your landed cost is in the US, you double it to sell wholesale, and you double the wholesale price to sell at retail. The reason is because to sell retail, you have marketing costs, you have advertising costs, you have the cost of sale, you have insurance costs, and you have other costs that are included in your business that you need to account for. And Amazon will easily take 25% or more of your money, of the sale price. So if you're not using that type of pricing model, you're putting yourself in a bad position. If you're just doubling your money trying to sell wholesale on Amazon, you're making what, 10%? You're not making a lot of money. So using the Keystone pricing model, if it costs us 250, we need to sell it for 250 times 4, $10. So we have to sell that for $10. Now, I'm going to go use my model. I'm going to go directly to China. I'm going to buy it from the manufacturer. They're not going to have the Alibaba charges, and they're going to think I'm a very serious buyer. They're going to develop a relationship with me because I'm face-to-face with them. I'll have dinner with them. I'll shake their hands, and I'll negotiate prices right up the bat, and I'll start that beginning of that relationship. So I'm going to buy mine for 30 to 40% less than you did. So you bought it for $1.25. I got it for 75 cents. So I already bought it for 75 cents, right? Now, I bought it for 75 cents, but I didn't ship it DHL. I took the money I would have used to ship DHL, which would easily double the cost of that product, right? And I put it in a container and shipped it by ocean. And I'm just going to pull a number out because actually my last shipment, my number was like a nickel a unit, but, it was a lot. I'll use it for a small light item, shipping a large quantity via ocean. Let's just say it cost me a quarter. So now it costs me 25 cents a unit to get into the United States. Now we're not talking duty, any of the FBA prep, any labels or anything, but that's what it cost me. So I bought it for 75. I landed it in the U.S. for $1. You got $2.50 in it. I got $1 in it. Using the same Keystone pricing method, I can sell it for $4. So I can beat your price by $6 a unit, which means I have that much margin to move around in and still make money. Now that's a real low dollar figure in a very small example. So let's raise it up a little bit, and let's say you land it and you get it into Amazon for $5, so you have to sell that for $20. I get it and I land it and I get it into Amazon for $2.50. So now I can sell it for $10. You're selling it for $20, right? Amazon takes $5 from me, leaves me $5. I have $3 profit. That's 150% ROI. I can move my margin up. I can sell it for $20, just like you, right? If you can't move the number down, I can always stay lower than you in price. I have that much more margin. If I sold it at just Keystone pricing, I'd still make money. The ROI is great. But if I sell it for market price, which is that $20 that you're selling it for, or maybe 15 because I can just eat your lunch that way, then basically I can own that market. And there's no way for you to catch me because you can't come down to the price I'm at. And that's why sourcing your products like this is extremely important. If you started your business doing it the old way, that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. And if you can do it and it works, that's great. But the minute someone like me finds your product and it's doing good for you, and I find that gap in the market and I find that product sourcing it like I do, I'm going to buy it for less. I'm going to buy more. I'm going to ship more. I'm going to launch more. I'm going to launch it harder and faster for less than you can come down to, and your market's going to go away. And if you're in this business and you have not already experienced that, then you're really new. Because once you've been here for a while, you'll see it happen. You'll see over time more and more people come in, and bigger players with bigger buying power who can buy it for less, who have the shipping and the processes that I have, will come in and take it away from you. So why do you want to start in a position of weakness when you can start in a position of strength? So sourcing products, man, this is the Bible. This is really extremely important. If you guys have any questions on the sourcing side, definitely we're going to open it up here in a little bit for more questions and making it happen. I think I'm on a serious roll tonight. Last night, I've been working my tail off all week. I was a little off, a little tired, but I'm bringing it tonight, guys. I am bringing it because I am serious about how this works. So,
Dude, I'm telling you right now, the
after
only
we've
thing.
sourced our products and we've got them inside our fancy little garage, office, warehouse, or our FBA prep partner, or however we do that, there's a lot of different ways to make that happen, right? We need to do some stuff, right? we need to list our products on our sales channels. So when listing our products, there's a few things that are important. This is a little bit out of order, so I'm going to skip this order a little bit, but I'm still going to go over everything here. All right, so the number one most important thing I look at when I'm listing my products, because I've already done the product research, right? And because I've done the product research, I know there's a market. And I probably know a pretty good estimate on how big the market is and how much of that market I can take. Notice I didn't say gain, earn, blah, blah, because it doesn't work that way. You take it.